Hey, good morning, everybody. Chapter 14, Science Getting Rich. Let's get the music down. Good to see you this morning. Hope you're doing well. Chapter 14 is one of the three chapters. I actually have done an audio for people if they would like it. It's $10. 7, 4, and 14. 7, 4, and 14. To listen to those each and every morning, right? Each and every morning. Gratitude, first law of first science of getting rich, or what is it, the first rule of getting rich? Which chapter 4? I know the words. I forget the chapter. Chapter 3 is money. First principle in getting rich. Yep. And then 14, increase. See, I had it right. Chapter 14. The use of the will. Such a good book. Getting into the right business. Here we go. Chapter 14. The impression of increase. This is important. So good morning, everybody. Hope you're doing well. Chapter 14. Y'all ready for this? Here we go. Whether you change your vocation or not, you must direct your present actions to the business in which you are presently engaged. You can get into a business you want by making constructive use of the business you're already established in. See, here's the challenge. Let me finish the sentence. By doing your daily work in a certain way. A lot of people change their side gigs. And the reason they change their side gigs is because it's easy to change a side gig. It's not easy to change your established business and protocol and practices and inventory and all of that stuff. So there's a little bit more ownership that goes along with a traditional business model. But the challenge is the point that I want to bring out to this is that by directing your present actions where you currently are, by creating increase and overflow, you can wind up in the place you want to be. It's just that simple. So you can get into the business you want by making constructive use of the business you're already established in by doing your daily work in a certain way. And insofar as your business consists in dealing with other people, because your business consists of dealing with other people, whether directly, by telephone, or by letter. Does by letter, any of you still do by letter? Did you know stamps are like 75 cents a piece or something crazy? The key thought of all your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. That right there is, Napoleon Hill said, no fewer than 100 times. Brain reset. No fewer than 100 times has the secret to success been revealed on these pages inside of Think and Grow Rich. Your job, your responsibility is to vibrate in such a way that the secret leaps off the page at you. It activates something in your mind. I'll say, for me, the Science of Getting Rich, probably after 20 or so readings, even more probably, every page has a secret on it, and that's one of them. And I'll share with you why that it continually jumps out as a secret to me. The key to thought of all, by letter, by telephone, or by letter, the key thought of all of your efforts must be to convey to their minds the impression of increase. That if they hang out with you, they're going to get better. If they're around you, they're going to feel better, think better, do more. Something is going to increase in their life. And listen, there's some people out there that you satisfy their impression of increase. Listen carefully. You satisfy their impression of increase because they wanted more. And sometimes their more is aggravation, frustration, pain, misery. It is not your job to fix the world. It's your job to fix your world, and those who raise their hand, help them fix theirs. That's it. Increase in what all men and women are, increases what all men and women are seeking. It is the urge of the formless intelligence within them to find fuller expression. Listen, if their negative intelligence in them wants to find fuller expression, wouldn't it make sense that they get more angry? I'm just saying. It doesn't say that everybody's always going to be happy all the time. It just says impression of increase. The desire for increase is inherent in all nature. It is the fundamental impulse of the universe. All human activities are based on the desire for increase. It doesn't say positively more. It says increase. Now, we want it to be positively more. We want it to be more income, more wealth, not more aggravation and frustration. Although, law of attraction says what you think about and think about, you bring about. Be careful of your thoughts. People are seeking more food, more clothes, better shelter, more luxury, better, more beauty, more knowledge, more pleasure, more life. Every living thing is under that necessity for continuous advancement. Where increase in life ceases, dissolution and death set in at once. People instinctively know this, and hence they are forever seeking more. The law of perpetual increase is set forth by Jesus in the parable of the talents. Only those who gain more retain any. This is important. For him who hath not shall be taken away, even which he hath. Now, in another book that we've read, that was read to us by a dear friend, Daniela Jukic, the book, The Magic, 28 Days Practices. This idea of from him who hath, it says, even thee who has it shall have more. And for those who don't, even what they do have will be taken away. And they inserted the word gratitude. For he who has gratitude, more will be given. And he who does not, even what they have will be taken away. This is why sometimes when we have our thoughts and we're thinking and we're wondering why, well, it seems like everything is going away. I would say, hark ye, hark ye, citizen of gratitude. Are you using your gratitude? And I can pretty much, in my research of understanding gratitude for the last decade, gratitude, not grateful, two different things. For the last decade, 100% of the time, it's because they weren't being grateful. They weren't being they didn't have gratitude for what was currently going on in their life. They were grateful they were alive. They were grateful they were this, but boy, it really sucks having this negative stuff happen in my life. I'll be grateful for it all. God says it all happens for you, not to you. The normal desire for increased wealth is not an evil or a reprehensible thing. It is simply the desire for more abundant life. And because the deepest instinct of their natures, all men and women are attracted to an individual who can give them more of the means of life. If you're just telling people what to do in your social media, you should do this, you should do that, look what I'm doing. If you're not teaching, if you're not offering them a hand up instead of a hand out, if you're arguing with where they're currently at, you should do this. When you say you should do this, oh, this would be so good for you. You are forcing them into a negative state, just psychologically. If I say up, you say. If I say in, you say. If I say hot, you say. If I say you should be doing this, their mind has to go to, what are the 100 reasons why I shouldn't be doing that? And they exist. You should be healthy. Well, I know I shouldn't. That's my pain. That's my suffering. That's my badge. That's the stripes I wear on my shoulder. It's the tattoo of pain and suffering I wear on my sleeve. Don't tell me I should be healthy. I want to be healthy, but as soon as you tell me, in following the certain way, as described in foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase for yourself, and you are giving it to all with whom you deal. Challenge is that some of you won't allow the increase in your life. What do you mean I won't allow the increase? Because you won't shift your identity. to somebody who's more. Because when you do, the first thing that's happened is people are going to say, oh, what's different about you? You've changed your hair. You've changed your clothes. Or have you lost weight? You've gotten taller. You've gotten shorter. You've gotten prettier. You've gotten ugly. They can't see the internal shift that you've done. So they have to express it in an external way. And typically, people don't like when you change. They really disapprove of your transformation. Which is why, if you're going to help somebody transform from lack to more, from lack to abundance, they don't have a story. You're not teaching them a story of how they can shift their light and their life so they have a new story to tell as soon as they get attacked. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. In following the certain way as described in foregoing pages, you are getting continuous increase in your life, and you are giving it to all with whom you deal. You are a creative center from which increase is given off to all. I can promise you this. If somebody followed you around in the last 72 hours, ask yourself this. Would you be a source giving off increase to all of positive nature, of the nature you're becoming? Or were there moments in there where you lost your stuff, where you thought negative thoughts, where you wanted non-positive things to those around you? Be sure of this and convey assurance of the fact to every man, woman, and child with whom you come in contact, no matter how small the transaction. Even if it is only selling a stick of candy to a child, put into this action the thought of increase, and make sure that the customer is impressed with the thought. What would it mean to impress increase into the people around you? See, for some, their brains go, what do you mean add increase to those around me? You have to define that. You have to define, what do you think would it be? What are they looking for as increase? Sometimes it's a smile at the cashier, right? A genuine smile, a genuine interest. Hi, how are you? No, hey, how are you? Doing all right today? Thanks for being here. I walk through stores, and if you've ever hung out with me or gone on a human interaction escapade, also known as shopping, I'm in a continuous state of energy. Because some of the stores I go in aren't known for their positive energy. Walmart, people are there for price. They're not there for quality. They're not there for value. They're there for price, and and this is too expensive already, and I gotta try to and I gotta check out. I gotta self-checkout. I gotta tell you, there's some negative energy right at the front of the store. There's a lot of negative energy in the back of the store too. Just in the store, in it proper. So I do my best to alter the world with which I move in, and I thank people. I love the fact that I get to see shoppers. Now, oftentimes they have their headphones in. Doesn't matter, they're there. They're part of the service team. I'll say, excuse me, and where would I find this? I don't need you to go chase it for me. I know you're shopping. This, blah, 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 blah. Okay, thank you. And hey, listen, thanks for shopping for us. I don't know if you've ever pulled my groceries, but I can tell you, if you did, those were some of the best groceries we ever had. And you just watch the smile go on their face. And that 30-second exchange changes this, because I'll bump into them if you're walking the aisles still, right? Shopping. If you're really doing shopping, buying stuff. It's not that hard, and it's very selfful. I do it for a very selfful reason. I want them to see me next time in the next aisle over in soup or in crackers. Spend a lot of time in crackers. You are what you eat, crackers. I want them to just subconsciously be excited about their day. Okay. Convey the impression of advancement with everything you do. so that all people shall receive the impression that you are an advancing man or woman, and that you advance all who deal with you. You advance all who deal with you. You can convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you are in the way of increase. You are in the way of increase, meaning that, I'm blocking increase. No, you're actually in the flow of increase. You're in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. That's so powerful. You convey this impression by holding the unshakable faith that you are in the way of increase, and by letting this faith inspire, fill, and permeate every action. Do everything that you do in the firm conviction that you are an advancing personality and that you are giving advancement to everybody. Feel that you are getting rich, and that in doing so, you are making others rich. That you are conferring benefits on all. Do not boast or brag as your success or talk. Do not boast or brag of your success or talk about it unnecessarily. True faith is never boastful. Whenever you find a boastful person, you find one who is secretly doubtful and afraid. Network marketing shows us that all the time. Anybody who boasts, they're secretly doubtful and afraid. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. How many transactions do you make in a day? Oh, you mean like buy things? How many interactions do you make in a day? Transactions. How many times are you selling yourself? On social media, you are selling yourself. That is a transaction. Can you bring increase? Are you trying to be Google? Google doesn't provide any value unless somebody's searching for it. If they're running across your social media, that's not Google. You want them to learn something? Send them to Google. They need to be learning about you, what makes you special, what makes you the person I should follow, what is the vibration you give off so that I can become part of your tribe. Simply feel the faith and let it work out in every transaction. Let every act and tone and look express the quiet assurance that you are getting rich, that you are already rich. That's gratitude. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. Words do not teach. Who you are speaks so loud, I don't need to hear the words you're saying. Words will not be necessary to communicate this feeling to others. The way they will feel the sense of increase when they are in your presence and will be attracted to you. You must impress others that they will feel that in association with you, they will get an increase for themselves. See that you give them a use value greater than the cash value they are taking from you. If you always take an honest pride in doing this and let everybody know it, you will always have customers. People will go where they are given increase. People will go where they are given increase. And the supreme power, which desires increase in everything and which knows everything, will move toward you, men and women who have never heard of you. How did you all wind up here? If I look at the list, I promise you, I did not know one of you. None of us grew up together. Somebody brought you to this community. Somebody brought me into your community and you go, ooh, that's a cool feeling over there. I think I'll hang around that a little bit more. Hopefully, I believe on probably at least 98% of the days that you're here, I provide some value of increase. Definitely not perfect. I'm not 100%, but I am probably at 98. Pretty close. Your business will increase rapidly. and you will be surprised at the unexpected benefits which will come to you. You will be able to make larger combinations to secure greater advantages and to go on into a more congenial vocation if you desire so. However, in doing all this, you must never lose sight of your vision of what you want or your faith and purpose. All too often, when we start to have people show up in our life who want us in their world, we start to believe our own press. Look at all of these people that want me. And then you lose your vision and your faith and your purpose. Let me here give you another word of caution in regard to motives. Beware of the insidious temptation to seek power over other people. Nothing is more pleasant to the uninformed or partially developed mind as to exercise power or dominion over others. The desire to rule for selfish gratification. I need one more person in my business. I got to get one more enrollment in my business. I need one more leader in my business. That is dominion over another. Flat out, black and white, as clear as you can get, wanting to control another human being. I need another. I got to get another one. I got to get 2 more people in my business. Oh, you can get them. They might not stick. Nothing is so pleasant to the uninformed or partially developed mind as to exercise the power of domination over others. The desire to rule for selfish gratification has been the curse of the world for countless ages. Kings and lords have drenched the earth with the blood of their battles to extend their dominions. They have not been engaged in an effort to seek more life for all, but to get more power for themselves. Today, the main motive in business and industrial world is the same. People marshal their armies for dollars. People marshal their armies of dollars and lay waste to the lives and hearts of millions in the same mad scramble for power over others. Commercial kings, like political kings, are inspired by the lust for power. Look out for the temptation to seek authority, to become a master, to be considered as one who is above the common herd, and to impress others by lavish display. The mind that seeks for mastery over others is the competitive mind, and the competitive mind is not the creative one. In order to master your environment and your destiny, it is not at all necessary that you should rule over your fellows. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for high places, you begin to be conquered by fate and environment, and getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. And indeed, when you fall into the world's struggle for high places, you begin to conquer by fate and environment, and getting rich becomes a matter of chance and speculation. Beware of the competitive mind. No better statement of principle of creation or of creative action can be formulated than the favorite declaration of the late Golden Rule Jones. I want for myself, what I want for myself, I want for everybody. Chapter 14, the questions in the workbook. What assurance should you seek to convey to others? The impression of increase. Think of 3 people who could really benefit from your assistance. Gives you some schedules and working to do for the next 30 days. As a result of what you learned, what do you intend to do in the future to do things in a certain way? Ooh, the advancing man. That's a great one. Chapter 15 is next. So there you go. Chapter 14, the impression of increase. And not just for you, but the impression of increase. Do people feel that when they're around you, or do they feel dominated? Do they feel as if you're trying to gain control over them? A lot of times when here's what I will say. The fancier the restaurant, the more we think we need attention. I'll go with people to dinner, and the waiters and the waitresses, they're amazing souls. They're absolutely incredible. But if we're paying $150 for an appetizer, I've seen people who aren't typically jackholes turn into these just amazing ignorant individuals because the food's $150 for an appetizer and $300 for a main course. They're just they I don't know, they lose their mind. They think because they pay more they should get more. Doesn't work that way. Does not work that way at all. People pay their entire life and struggle and suffer. Why don't they ask more of themselves instead of everybody else? That's a clue. Jim Rohn would say that's a clue. So, anyways, good morning, everybody. Chapter 14, the impression of increase. What'd you learn? What'd you like?
Grand Rising Superstar. 2 questions right off the bat.
Good morning, sir.
Well, first and foremost, how are you?
Outstanding.
Outstanding. Okay. This is a 2-parter. First
I got
part
4
is I know. The first part is in regards to the first part of the chapter.
Yep.
So does the first part of the impression of increase in interactions relate to what I mentioned started happening in my life recently with the interactions I had with people? Because I just, somehow I had an intent to have a good interaction, and somehow it just, worked out to be better for some reason.
So do you think, so where did the adjustment change of the universe seeing a good interaction? How did the universe respond by bringing people that are cool into your life? Where did it initially see the shift in change, the shift in the wanting good interactions? Where did it recognize that shift?
Well, I started asking people questions, I guess.
So, but where was the start? Is that where the start was, asking people questions?
Well, I changed the way how I approach the interactions.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Okay. I mean, I did. I really did.
So
that's okay.
You changed. So where did the idea of change come from?
From somewhere up in here.
Yeah, but how did it rise? How did the idea of change come about? Yeah, somewhere up in here, but what triggered the idea of shift?
My want to shift into this new identity.
Ah, so a feeling.
Oh, okay.
So a thought came and a feeling said, and then you had a thought. I see what Sean does, and he's just, I don't know if it's an act, but nobody can be that nice all the time. Nobody can be that fun all the time. Nobody can have, but I'm going to try it. I'm going to put it to the test. So you made a decision. You made a decision to have a better feeling, right? To have more of what you want, less of what you don't. Then something else had to happen. Because awareness, you became aware of it. Fully aware, 100% aware, total awareness. Right? You wrote down the goal. I want to be happy. That didn't do crap. Then what had to happen?
Well, then I had to actually act upon the thought I had.
Well, if you wanted to do it if you wanted to do it consistently, you had to make a decision.
A decision. Okay.
You had to cut off everything else. Incision, cut in, decision, cut off. So you said, I'm not gonna go back and forth and back and forth. That's exhausting. I'm just gonna go be happy. I don't know if what it's gonna look like, but I'll be damned. All of a sudden, I started to feel good. And good people started to show up. Why do you think they showed up?
I vibrate on a different vibration now.
Do you think they weren't there before?
I know you're gonna say all that was available, so I'm gonna say they were, and I was, and they were as well.
Well, you weren't. Not the vibration of you weren't. It was available.
It was available, yeah.
But how do you know to think, oh my God, all these people showed up? No, they were always there. You just happened to put on the right glasses where you could see them now. You put on your happiness glasses and all. Oh my gosh. It's like putting on night vision goggles. You could finally see through the clutter.
Yeah.
So what was your question again?
The first part is done. Now we move on. Regarding the second part of the chapter, towards the end of it, you were talking, I mean, walls, and then you were
Right.
talking about the dominion of others. So how do you change that? Do you just start asking questions of how to
You
better your
can't change
business,
dominion of others.
or no? I mean, in terms of your approach to it,
So
how to,
what are you looking for? So there's people who have their own dominion, their own desire, their wants, their wishes. How do you know it's okay to approach them?
well, if I come,
Do people lie?
yeah,
Is it possible they lie about wanting more?
yeah,
And if you go to show them more and they tell you, well, that's stupid, isn't that a lie? That they said they wanted more?
the fact they said they wanted more, yeah, that was a lie.
Well, but is it the only truth they know? Maybe they're not lying. See, we think of it as a lie. You told me you wanted more, but then you
Oh,
didn't want this. Well, it's not. Yeah, but you don't understand. So it's not a lie. It's just the only truth they know how to tell, and it just sounds like it, right? If imagine if they spoke and you didn't know what the hell they were saying, but they know exactly what they're saying. You have a Serbian slang. There is a Serbian underground language.
yeah,
We have a it's called what's it called? And when you get into a community is based upon uniqueness. I want to say it's slang, but there's another terminology for it, a psychological terminology for it. And it's not nomenclature, but there's a unique colloquialism. When I say, here, I'll see you all where? And if you're new to the call and everybody yells at the next event, somebody go, what the hell was that? There's certain protocol. We have a
I remember we
language
spoke
all
about
our
this. Yeah,
own, right? In football, you have a language all your own in football. Hit the running back, hit the tackle back, do this, flash. I don't even know. I can't even say the words. I'm not in football. I don't know football, right?
yeah, we spoke
Flashback,
about
run
this. I
back,
remember.
touchback, right? There's all of this no, and then on the team, you even have a tighter set of language, right? So in this community of poverty, in this community of frustration, in this community of wanting a handout, they have a certain language that sometimes us as entrepreneurs don't understand. So when we say, do you want more? And they say, yes, they don't want our more. Sounds like something out of Lord of the Rings, right? They don't want our more. They want their more. So we have to have them define for us what is their more. So we have to get very good at asking questions, because I'm asking questions on a very first date. Hey, you want to sleep? You want to have a baby? That's how deep my questions go. They don't translate into you want to have a baby. It's how's that working for you? They'd probably give me a better answer if I asked them if you want to have a baby. The challenge is that we are entering in when we are subjects of creation, when we are vehicles of possibility, when we are transports of ideas. That's a pretty big ticket people are going to have to pay to get on that bus. And the ticket is leaving their identity.
I remember exactly what you're talking about, because when we had our one-on-one, it was let's take a look here. It was on 28th of January.
Mm-hmm.
You said to me to write down, when people come to the Club AJ, what are the words and sayings around you? And then you mentioned obviously, Pura Vida and so on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's me understanding that they have their own lingo and I have my own lingo because we're not on the same levels, and I need to find a common ground
Need
there.
to offer them the opportunity that if they use your lingo, their life gets better.
Okay. That makes a lot more sense.
So it's an invitation. So Jim Rohn said it this way: find an audience. Actually, Kyle Wilson, Jim Rohn's business partner, president of Jim Rohn International for 18 years. Amazing marketer, built an email list of 1 million people before the internet. Pretty sharp guy. Find an audience, talk to them, give them a chance to raise their hand. That's it. I've had over 10,000 people come through the morning calls. I have their emails. 10,000 people. We got 14. Am I saying, oh my God, why aren't people getting this? I'm showing up for the 14, showing up for the 8 sometimes. But you guys will go through walls. Okay. Hey, I got 2 more than Jesus. I ain't Jesus, but I got 2 more than he had. So find your community. Find your catchphrases. What are the things that, how are you? Outstanding. I'll see y'all where? At the next event. Have more of what you want, less of what you don't. I have, when I do my coaching clients, when I was coaching network marketers, Mason was a baby. He was 20 years ago. I worked for MLM University. I was their #1 coach, had 70 clients. People would have their cubicles or their offices with little Seanisms. All these little sayings and expressions. Actually, Amber Knick, actually they made a t-shirt RC, Rob Cardenas made a t-shirt. I'll have to wear it. And on the back of it, or maybe on the front of it, has all of the Sean expressions. It has like 20 expressions printed on the t-shirt. So what is AJ known for?
Well,
look at that movement.
Well,
I think that chair at the back.
I started saying something whenever, people ask me, especially because of the leg. When they ask me, how are you? I say, I feel like $1 million. And they're like, what? And I'm like, yeah. They're like, what do you mean? I mean, I feel like $1 million. And they look at me funny and they just, kind of move on with the conversation. But I feel so special when I say that. It's just awesome. I don't care. I love it. So.
Yeah, but hang on. You do care because it's about you. As soon as you say, I don't care what they think, you're not providing increase. You have to care what they think. And if you're saying it with a way for them that they don't get it, that doesn't work. Doesn't work for you because you get rejected.
They don't. I mean, sometimes they laugh it off or something, but they don't.
So you might ask, hey, listen, if I were to write you a check today for how good you feel, how much would that check be worth?
Oh, okay.
And they go, what do you mean? If you wanted me to pay you for how good you feel right now, I'm going to write you a check. Metaphorically, but I'm going to write you a check. I don't know, $50,000. I feel like $1 million. That makes sense?
Oh, so this is how you open up the conversation.
Yeah. When somebody goes, how are you? I'll tell you how I am. First, you got to help me. Because nobody really cares how you are. And if they ask, I'm going to have a dialogue. If I were to write you a check today for how much you feel, for how good you feel, and you may pick up a napkin or something, how much should I write your check out for? Tell me how you feel today. How much are you worth today? And you'll start to realize the negative impact that everybody's put on themselves. Could they all be worth $1 million today? So what I would help you to become aware of is the people the community, the people that you dialogue with have very little belief in themselves.
Definitely. Yeah.
So
that's a clue.
what if you were the $1 million man? What if you gave them hope? Nobody can even fathom $1 million. But if you ask them, hey, I'm going to write you a check today. I got unlimited access to the universal source of income. If I were to ask you, how much do you feel that you're worth today? And guess what? Here's the thing. You want to go find out how to talk to this audience? Ask them how much they think they're worth today. Don't stop it, but keep record of it. Because people say, for the last 30 days, I've asked people in my community, hey, if we were to write you a check today on how happy you feel today, what you're worth today, you know what the average income was? 40,000 euro, which is probably double what they can make because the mind can only expand 2 times as it relates to income. Would that be a fair statement?
That would be an overstatement because they probably feel like 1,000 euros, not 40,
but take it. So now guess what?
Yeah, okay.
You get to now speak to the 2,000 euro opportunity. You make more in a month than people make in a year. They can't comprehend that. They think you're robbing something, stealing something, doing something illegal, which it is illegal because you found the secret code to happiness, which seems like it's illegal in your territory.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's true.
So you now speak to the 1,000 euro mindset and help them get to 5,000 euro because it can't comprehend 10,000 euro. Speak to your audience. If you were to go talk to your nephew, wouldn't you talk to him differently than you would to your uncle?
My nephew wants me to buy him a red BMW. I mean, he's obsessed with the red BMW for whatever reason. So I just bought him a toy of like $10, and it's supposed to arrive tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to see his reaction. But yeah,
Video it for yourself
I will.
because here's what's going to happen. You'll get to use this as a training from now until forever. I got to tell you, it was so amazing to give my nephew this red BMW. Yeah, it was a nice car. It was more than the plastic car you get at the local Walmart version of Walmart. So I ordered it. It came in. I had to wait on it. But I got to tell you, I kept getting more and more excited watching the delivery of the thing to me so I could give it as a gift. And I got to tell you, as excited as he was, I was probably even more excited. The reality is that when we get to give those we love their dreams, it's undescribable. What I've found a way is to give those who really want their dreams, who have fallen in love with their dreams, the ability to receive their gifts. That's what I do. If you don't love your dreams, you ain't here. You're giving me an hour every day. Who does that? 300 hours a year. Do you know how some of you spend more time with me than your family?
Yeah.
Why? Because I'm helping you get what you want.
Here's a question.
Yes, here we go. Now we're diving in.
The conversation starts after an hour. The real conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyhow, so Sean, where do you draw the line in the sand when you do good things that make you feel good,
Yep.
but you do them for others? Where is the line when that is about you versus where it's about them?
It's always about you.
It's all okay.
Ken, it's never not about you.
Okay.
The question is are you doing it so that you can point and go, look what I did? Or are you doing are you doing it to improve the karma in your world?
So it's only about the state from which you are doing the action. Okay. Okay.
There's stuff I give to people all the time. Never hear word one back. And if I don't hear one word back, is that my problem? Well, I don't know why they didn't say thank you. So you gave it with the intent of receiving. See, here's the thing. When you understand the true laws of the universe, what you give will never come back from the place you gave it. Can't. I plant a seed. Listen carefully. Here's a visual. I plant a seed in the what? In the soil. Does the dirt give me back the 50 tomatoes that are going to grow on the plant, or does the tomato give it? Which one?
The tomato.
So the tomato gives it. So
Yeah.
do I cuss the soil going, where you're supposed to give me stuff, soil? I put the seed in you. I planted you in this soil, and I'm not paying attention to the fruit all around me.
Oh, I see
Did
what you.
you ever get
Yeah.
something special on your steak that the chef added to it? A little
Yeah.
extra, right? But you didn't order it
The
from the
barbecue.
chef. You didn't order it from the chef. You ordered it from the server.
Yeah.
And did you wait on the server to cook you your meal?
Nope.
Why not? You ordered it from the server. You gave to the server. You're giving the tip to the server. Now you probably are just kooky enough to sometimes give a tip to the chef. Say, hey, listen, give this to the guys in the back. But you tip the server, right?
Oh,
You
so everybody has their role in. Okay.
And we keep thinking we know where it's coming from.
And you don't. Okay, I see what you're saying. So it's like you. No, this is the visual I'm getting. So it's like you, um, putting in the work and transferring your wealth and your energy, right, into others, and then from a completely different
And then I
angle.
allow myself to be surprised.
Yeah.
Not disappointed.
And the surprise usually comes from a completely different angle.
Doesn't
correct?
usually. It can't not.
Okay.
It has to come from someplace different.
I see.
It's impossible for it to come back where it came from, because the moment you gave it, everything changed.
Bonus.
The moment you say, is there a server there that you know at the restaurant?
Yeah, he's like 10 feet away.
Okay. Do you know his name?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know his last name?
No,
Then you
I
don't
don't
know him.
I don't think I do.
No.
Oh.
Is he married, single, girlfriend?
He's married, has 2 kids.
What are the kids' names?
Oh, it's Dora and what's the other one's name? Golly, I can't remember.
Oh, so he's not important to you?
They're putting me on the
No, I'm just saying,
here,
but
Your Honor.
this is the help seat right now, because this is a mentoring moment.
He's important in his role.
Yeah, but he's not a human being. What, you know what? I bet there could be $1 million agreement between you and him. Do you think he comes into contact with people who would be your best clients?
I mean, probably.
Yeah, probably, maybe, could be. Yeah, the answer is yes.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be at the restaurant. See, you're still identifying him as somebody just in this place.
Rub it in my nose, man. Anybody want to throw some extra punches? I'm in the dirt already, man. If you guys want to take a swing, be my guest.
You see what's happening, and we're just talking about the server at the restaurant. Yeah. You go there every day.
Yeah.
What value are you leaving them other than a tip?
We had a few interactions outside of this place. Like I helped them with some some issues they had. I mean, it was minor stuff, but
have you given them a chance to brag? When's the last time you asked about Dora?
I haven't.
Yeah. Okay. Jim Ronan said that's a clue.
They did brag about me once. They said, there was a guy coming in here, and he's a regular as well. He was like, "Where's this kid that's in here every day?" And they said, "Well, there's this kid that's in here every day. He does something on the computer. I don't know. He talks in a language we don't understand for whatever reason." And felt good, but I haven't been asking enough questions.
Okay, but have you given them a chance to brag? Not on you. Listen, what you're experiencing right now, it's called I'm sure there's a better word that's not going to sound so mean. It's called maturity.
It's called a kick in the mouth, man.
So if you came in, imagine if you came in and said, "Hey, listen, tell me what Dora and Stefan have done today. What did you love about what they did yesterday? Since I saw you yesterday, brag on your kiddos for me."
Oh, I see. Okay. It's the feels like I'm splitting atoms in here, man. It's you know the neutron accelerator in Switzerland that they got going on. It's like
Yes, in
it's like
CERN.
it's like 20 miles long, and they
Yeah,
they they collide them at like Godspeed or whatever.
yeah.
It feels like I'm trying to stop it.
99.99% the speed of light.
Yeah, it feels like I'm gonna split the atom. So it's but expansion is good, I guess.
You want to
It's
know what's
making more
interesting
room.
about that you'll never read typically in any research paper about the
Yes.
CERN? Is that when they would run the CERN, sometimes it would work, sometimes it wouldn't. And they couldn't figure out in the very beginning of why it would work and why it wouldn't. So much so that it had such inconsistency, and we're dealing with science. There is no inconsistency because they were looking for the boson particle, right? The God particle. What they found is they did a research. There's not that many people that work in the CERN, not enough that they couldn't interview them all. And so they started interviewing them all. And what they found you want to know what they found? This would be
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Okay, cool.
Yes, sir.
Here's what they found. When 51% of the people on site, 51% or more, believed it was going to work, what did it do?
Work.
And when less than 51% of the people believed it was going to work, what did it do? Believed that wasn't going to work. What happened? Didn't work.
Hello, music in the background. Yeah.
So here's the thing. You have a chance to influence 100% of the energy in that building you're in. Why wouldn't you want to take advantage of that? Because if you ask him about Dora and Stefan or whatever the other child's name is he going to have a better relationship with another customer he serves? Is he going to wind up are his other server friends, the girls, the guys, going to ask, I didn't know that Dora did that. Is she that old now? All of a sudden, now the whole dialogue changes from I ain't got no money to I'm talking about $1 million ideas. Now ask him
They're
how much,
gonna.
if I were to write you a check right now for how much you're worth, how much are you worth?
It's gonna. Oh yeah. Okay. It's gonna increase.
Oh, wow. So it's going to do what? Impression of increase? You just made them feel more valuable than they are? Huh. All about asking about Dora, dumbass.
Sucks to be you, Skippy. But it's this is what I'm getting in my Eastern European skull.
Yep.
You have to wanna ask the questions and
Well,
be honestly interested in. I mean, you can't fake it.
imagine instead of have to, you get to.
You get to, yeah.
What's the difference between have to ask the questions and get to ask the questions? Tell me that. Tell me the physical difference you feel in your body between have to and get to.
Have to is like, oh, I gotta ask it, and then I get to. It's like, well, I get to do that.
What's the result of a have to? You'll get an answer, but what's the result of the have to? You ask a question. I have to ask you this question. What's going to be the vibrational feeling on their side?
They're immediately gonna hold on back, I think.
Right.
Because they're
Are they
gonna
going
feel
to
like
have
it's
to answer or
attacked.
get to answer?
They're gonna have to answer.
Wow. And
It's
I
like
don't want
a.
to have a lot of have tos.
Oh, okay. And if they get to answer, they okay.
Give them questions they get to answer, AKA brag. What if you set up a scholarship for his kids?
I actually had an idea. It's a secret. Psst. He said that he had some issues with his back or whatever, and he needed to get some money for the therapy. And for a short while, I was thinking about, well, I should maybe offer, and then because I know he's like 60, he probably won't take my help.
How
And I
many
was
of you
like,
were
well,
just
how do I?
surprised the guy was 60 and you thought maybe he was 20? Type the age of what you thought this waiter was with the two kids.
He's
Or is this a
he's going
different
like
waiter?
He was born 1963. That's how no, that's
Yeah, it's a
50,
lot. It's
a lot.
C63
It's a lot.
because I was born in
Yeah.
65. Screw you.
My mom and dad were born in 69.
So, question,
Um,
question. Is this the same waiter with the two kids, Dora?
yes, yes,
So,
yes.
how many of us thought he was, yeah, thought he was, I thought he was in his 20s. He's 60,
Oh
so he's
no.
got full grown kids.
They're my age, I think. We're
Yeah.
a year younger, I think.
Hmm.
Year or two younger
Okay.
than me.
Is he independently wealthy and he's just doing this as a side gig?
This is his primary income,
Yeah. Hmm.
I'd say.
Really? And you want to just make him feel like crap.
I didn't want to. I mean, as you know, it's I didn't want that. It's like kind of
I didn't know you were Mexican. Yeah, yeah.
ay, mamma mia. It's
But
yeah,
here's what I want you to feel right now. You feel the shift, you can do better.
yes, I do.
That's all you're looking for, buddy. Principle of Kaizen. All you want to do is learn how do I get better? You've realized here's the 4 stages. Oh, crap. I didn't want to ask this question. Now the sadness. You know how much of an ass I've been? Get over it. Don't start right now. Don't ever be an ass again. It becomes the new normal. Because the new excitement of this and then the new normal. But the fear of doing this, now the sadness, he doesn't know it. He doesn't know how sad you feel. He's used to the interaction. You get to now elevate it. You get to be the person of increase. And then tomorrow, you're going to learn what it means to be the advancing man. All from a book we've all read before.
Well, well. Thank you for this interaction. Thank you for this input. It's a kick in the mouth as always,
So
but
my
it's also
question is
charming.
that since they're full grown children, how often does he talk to them? They probably do they live in town? Do they live around? Does he see them?
They live together, actually.
So what if some ways, by some craziness, some fashion, some stroke of genius, you were able to help him create an amazing vacation? Does he have grandbabies?
No, no, he does.
They're full grown adults. Well, they could be in their 20s, right? Well, unless he got
Yeah,
married
like I said,
late.
so they're 1 or 2 years younger than me. Now I'm 23, so they're like in their
Okay, so he got
early
married
early
late in
20s.
life. Is his wife
He got
still
married
alive?
like yeah.
What's her name? I don't know.
Let's call her Abby.
Abby Normal.
Abnormal. I have no idea.
Okay. And how long have you been going to this restaurant?
Quite a long period of time.
Do you see now
Period.
how the echoes of what your possibility are have even they're just getting started.
Yeah.
This gentleman has more value than you'll ever know. He's got 60 years experience. If on the one extreme, everything what's his name?
His name is Predrag.
Say it again.
Predrag.
Petrag.
Yeah.
Petrag?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay, we'll call him Petey.
Call him Peter, yeah.
So everything that Peter has done on the best example is everything you should avoid. There's so many lessons he can teach you. So many lessons of what to avoid. He's a server at 63.
Yeah,
I would pay close attention to what he's telling you.
He's also a chef, by the way. So he actually cooks the food.
So he's both.
And then yeah, I mean it's usually a two-people show.
So when are you going to have a party there that everybody pays $500 to have a special meal that he's going to have flown in? Because there's a meal that he would love to cook. Find out. Is there something you would love to cook to 20 of my friends? Is there something that's not on the menu that you would have flown in? We could have flown in from Dubai or wherever. What would be the meal of all meals you would love to cook? A 7-course meal. You ever think about that? Or is he like a Waffle House, a McDonald's chef? He just does short order stuff.
He does a lot of things. We actually currently we have an engagement with him. He cooks for the office once a week.
Okay.
And then we pay him and overpay him obviously, but I never thought about it from this perspective. Asking him what would
Yeah,
he
what do you
want
want
to
to
do
cook?
for
What would
us?
be the meal if we could sit down and I'll pay 100 euros a head, 200 bucks a head, and have wine? Does he know wine?
I've
Hmm.
got to ask him.
Wow, how long have you been going there?
Close to a year and
Yeah.
some and change, I think.
Okay, so I guess after the year, it's okay to start asking new questions.
It's okay. Yeah, it is gonna be okay to start new questions. To ask new questions after a year. I think that's when the relationship kind of goes in one way or the other.
That's it. So, question: in this, when you look in your screen, can you see the tree behind? Don't turn around. Can you see the trees behind you through the window?
Yes.
Just ask as many questions. There will be new buds on those trees. That's all. And that's just those 3 or 4 trees I can see. Just ask as many new leaves that show up on those trees. There you go.
You got you always know the right thing to say, man. You always kind of you never fail to amaze.
And that's a
I'll tell
good
you that.
thing, though, right?
That's a very good thing in my book.
It's aggravating because it's like it's so consistent. But here's the thing: it's not me who's growing. Partially, it's you are growing so that you can ask better questions. That's the key. You ask the question. I'm not that sharp to be able to teach. I just have enough experience to say, here's where we're going. I know where this one needs to end up. Let's see if I can build the bridge. And I may be the big scary troll that you still got to pay a toll to cross the bridge, but I'm going to get you over the bridge.
I got this guy that's handling people's life dilemmas with sheep and shed work, stuff like that. And we do good business together, so it's
Yeah,
good.
that's it.
Thank you. Thank you,
You're
thank you, thank
welcome.
you.
Great question.
I'm
What'd you learn?
gonna
What'd you like?
be oh, we're still on? Jesus. All right.
Well, just on the learn the like.
Jeez Louise. All right. I learned that how do I put this? How to formulate this. Okay, so I learned that there needs to, I have a necessity for expansion.
Mm-hmm.
In return, I love the new horizons it opens up for me, the new stuff I can see that I just could not see before. They were there. That's
Mm-hmm.
what I learned this a long time ago that all of that is just there, and it's just kind of you're looking at it and you
Ladies and
can't
gentlemen,
see
what
it.
you're witnessing is brain expansion, new neural connections and new neural highways. And an expansion, this is literally taking him outside the box to where there's no more box.
This is called having pre-stroke symptoms, man. So I'm just kidding. Um, there's definitely all of those things are available on certain planes of existence, I'd say. And I love the fact, I knew this before, but it's kind of, I knew it, but I didn't know it, right? That I could just decide, make a decision, as you said, and just step into it and ask questions. And simply by, this is what I learned and liked it, loved at the same time, is that
Watching
with
this, are you all watching this unfold right before you? You're watching
with
this is called the neuroencoding. He's literally rewiring in the mitochondria and the powerhouses of his cells these new understandings. That's why the body moves. When the body starts to move, it's a shift in awareness. Now, a lot of times we use it when we're having conversations with people to see what they're lying about. But even when it's more truthful, when it's a truth that's awakening inside of us, you can't keep the body still.
you cannot. So what I learned and loved at the same time is that simply by in at the beginning of this phone call, I thought that as you were talking about impression of increase, I thought it had to be some kind of magical rocket science and whatever.
But it
And
is.
you, it is, but you can manifest that science through simply asking uh, Beja um, about his kids, and just just asking if their kids are doing good, today, and that's gonna ultimately change his whole day and my whole day, and he's gonna pay that forward, and that's gonna, the ripple effect of that is gonna be so huge. And I was sitting here thinking that you had to perform, wonders like Jesus did or whatever.
Well, isn't that,
To
but you are doing that now by showing up and being a person of increase. You are performing miracles. I bet there's people who have been coming to that restaurant longer who still don't know he has kids. At least you knew he has kids.
maybe where will be the case, yeah. Yeah. But for me, the biggest thing out of today was that you could start the ripple effect of the impression of increase with something so quote unquote simple, with a single question, actually.
Oh.
That's what blew my mind into expansion today. So I want to thank you for helping me understand how to ask one question, starting with one question. So, and then we can move from there. So, thank you.
Love it.
Hvala.
Havala. And here's another question. Hey, tell me what you're proud of today.
Me or do I ask him about it?
You could ask anybody that question. Ask your buddies that question. Hey, what'd you do today? What'd you do in the last week you're really, really proud of? If all of our life is based upon frequency and vibration, the reason that some of us are stuck where we're stuck is because we don't shift the vibration of everything around us. I'll walk into the feed store. I met Brock yesterday. Brock Robertson. He's the son of the owner of the feed store. I knew Brock. Brock knows who I am because I'm the only one in town that drives an H2. And so I go in and I go, okay, so I need some wheat and I need some oats because I'm using that as ground cover for the pastures for the sheep. And I ordered 4 bags of crimson clover. And he says, he said, so I want a couple of bags and a bag of red dog food. And they said, yeah. He said, so you're out there, right? And so he pointed to where I parked up farther away. I said, yeah, I'll bring the truck around on the trail. He says, no, I got you. So he loaded it up on the little cart and he's wheeling it out and we're putting it on there. And I always grab a bag. He says, no, I got it. I said, dude, let's do this together. I said, and tell me your name. He said, Brock Robinson. I said, oh, so you're the son? He said, yeah. I said, I just got to thank you for always, always, always taking great care of your customers. He said, well, that's what we're supposed to do. I said, that's what you're supposed to do, but you don't do the supposed to, you do the more than. And I just want to thank you. Wheeling this out over here, I could have brought the truck over. You could have said, hey, listen, just back the trailer up over here. He said, yeah, I guess I could have. I said, but I just want to say thank you for taking care of me. It's always an honor and joy coming here. I don't think his feet touched the ground on the way back.
Yeah, that's true.
How hard was it? How much effort did it take from, I can promise you, I walk back into the feed store, Brock's going to go, hey, Sean, how's it going? He may not forget, he may not remember my name. I go, hey, listen, this is a test. I know your name's Brock. What's mine? I don't know. Sean. Before you answer, let's see if I say it right. Let's see if I know my name. And I'll take the pressure off. But I'll give him a chance because he wants to call me by my name.
Bonus!
We have to make, if we make people around us feel comfortable, why shouldn't I have a comfortable world? You know why I don't have a comfortable world? Most people, it's because they don't choose to share the comfort. You're a server. You need to bring me food. That's why every now and then I'll go get a job. Love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? You're off the hot seat. He's lost 4 pounds.
Based on this conversation, can I give you a little nugget?
Yes.
I got the file.
Yes. I love it.
I wrote it in the chat, but it's not the information. It's the transference of who you are. And that's exactly what you and AJ did and what you do, Sean, when you go to the feed store. So that's a lesson, guys. It's bonus this morning. Thank you.
Yes. This entire conversation is bonus.
Yeah, and we'll hear more because Diane was was a person of increase. She was a person of increase for me and for everybody in the room. And we'll get more into that when she shares more of her amazing 2 day workshop that she went to. But here's why was an in-person of increase for me, because she was the connection between me and how she got there, which gave everybody that knows me a chance to talk about me to her, to increase her because of her relationship with me. She got cemented because Diane knows and has been around me a lot longer than any of those. So this whole idea of increase was just happened all weekend. I had the best weekend ever. I would have been more enjoyable being there Friday and Saturday, but it was an absolute, the vibrations that came to the ranch were undescribable, undescribable. And I know, and I have to thank Diane for that, because she allowed that to take place.
Your ears must have been ringing because we did talk about you.
And most of it was true. I'll just say that. I'll put that caveat out there.
It's all very good things, you know.
They are cool people.
The first comment, you know, that crazy Sean? I said, yeah, he's my mentor and one of my best friends. And they were like, okay.
All right, you're in. Sorry, but you're in.
Yeah, no, it was an amazing time.
I love it.
All of them.
I love it. And what I love is that, and what I know from that community is that they love to cater to those they care for. And because, and this is just me not being egotistical, it's stating a truth, because they love me, by default, that was carried over to you. And you showed up and you weren't a stick in the mud. And so they could love on you and you received it. That was a key, Diane. You received it, which gave them great joy, because I've gotten texts about how amazing you are and how happy they were that you were there. So yeah, from Ron, from Kyle, from Sophia, from everybody. So thank you.
Yeah, they were amazing, amazing group. And it's all, you know, and you talk about, it was all heart-centered, everything that they did. And the whole weekend, you just felt that. It was just, and Takara was there. She's the one that
I missed that. I saw Takara there and I went,
oh, what a lovely, lovely soul. And her mom and I had quite the chat. So it was just all those connections. And everyone was, you know what, you talk about the feeling. It was the state that everyone was in. We were all in such a, I don't know, it was such a great state. And the feelings, there was no negative anything. It was just, I don't know, you just had to be there, guys.
Right. And so now, you know, when I come back, it's like, it can't be all that and a slice of bread. It's that and a slice of bread with jam and jelly and honey on it. It's indescribable.
It is.
Somebody asked me the other day, are they, is it still the same stuff? And I felt so bad. I go, I don't know what that means, but it's impossible that it's the same stuff.
Well, with Ron, you know, I've been on his training before, but you learn something different every time. And the examples he gives, and with the questions, the way he answers them, it makes you look at it in a whole new way. And it really helps that, you know. So I think I was meant to be there because I learned a lot of different things that I could use in doing my presentations and going forward that way. So it was amazing. And, you know, like you, Kyle, he started out was, where's home? Not meaning where you live. Right? So he says it's your website or your what you put out there that people learn about you.
Did he mention anything about an email list, building an email?
Yep. Yeah. Email list was a huge kick in the face for me. But yeah. But I wasn't the only one.
No, I know. And that's why he can say it every time.
I didn't feel as bad, but no, that was a huge one, you know. And he said, you know, it's like your social media is your branding, and it's huge. It's huge. Um, and he talked about taglines, which that's how you are. You have all those little sayings and things like that. And you do need to have the pictures, the testimonials, the social proof.
No. Oh, he's
No.
changed it dramatically.
What was the other? Oh, yes. And you always have to, when you connect with, or when you do this stuff, you always have to have an opt-in so people can opt in. And that's how you get
You
the
mean a
email.
CTA? No.
But he did it in such a way. He was so casual about it, but it was golden nuggets, right?
Well, and the reason he's so casual is because we usually have a conversation before the mastermind, whether it's a mastermind or this marketing. Just he has his handful of people that he reaches out to, and he says, "Here's what I'm thinking," and it's the same. It's the can be the similar slides, the same slides. Were they black slides with kind of a gold writing on them?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, same slides. I have all those slides, but it was a different presentation.
It
What I
was.
love what I love for you to experience, Diane, is that there wasn't 50 people there. You wanted 50 people there, but there wasn't. You were in what is known as an intimate setting with the two-time US memory champion, the gentleman who made Jim Rohn president for 18 years. Nobody spent more time with Jim Rohn than Kyle Wilson. And you got some experience with some people who taught AI, who I think they were for part of the California group. But you got an
25-year-old, like she's 25 and she's a millionaire. She travels and it just blows
and
your
she
mind.
came to Kyle's because she wanted to, and he asked.
Yeah. Yeah. And you can see those special relationships and bonds, like, and people think a lot of Kyle. And they think a lot of you, like the people that know you that we spoke about, they do. They have a lot of respect for you. So, and they love you. One
They're
person
not
said,
always
"Oh
right
yeah,
in
I
the
give
head,
you
but
big hugs." And he actually kissed me on the head. And I said, "That's Sean." And I said, "Okay, I don't feel so bad now." Yeah. And the colonel
and the colonel just
he
amazing.
was a
He ran the single largest presidential election. Now, when the Marines are the liaison there's a liaison group between the military and the Secret Service. And Colonel Cole, who is a logistics mega mind, actually was the head liaison between the Secret Service and the military as the Marine colonel who ran the inaugural for Obama.
Wow. And he's such a soft-spoken guy, like he's not loud or whatever. And when he speaks to you, he looks at you, and like you say, Sean, when you speak to people, you get into their space and you listen. And so he was such a good example of that. Those are the kind of little things that I notice with each person and how they interacted and the relationships and things like that. It was really
Did he tell you how we met?
No.
7 years ago, he was in a room. Ron was speaking. So Ron has his military background, right? He had intelligence. He's an intelligence officer for the Navy.
Right. Yeah.
And when he found out the colonel, he says, any other military? And the colonel kind of raised his hand. We were in I think it was the $1 billion seminar. I don't know if it was that one yet. Maybe it was. Anyway, so the colonel raised his hand. He says, and what rank, sir? He said, Colonel. And Ron just about flipped out because in military, that means a lot, right? So all of a sudden he's the colonel, and I went, Colonel, oh my gosh. And so I got the colonel in a hallway, and I'm poking him in the chest going, if you don't give us a chance to fall in love with you, Colonel, I said, you could take me out in a second. I probably wouldn't even know you killed me, but I'm just going to tell you, don't be selfish. And that's how we met. And yeah, Great guy. But he'll tell you that story. And then I had him to the house one time to do some videos with him. He said,
He did tell me about that one. Yeah.
okay, good.
He says, that helped me amazing. He said, you would not believe it. He said, so you keep listening to Sean. I said, I hear you.
Good. I'm glad they didn't dissuade you.
No, they didn't. And they invited me back. I felt an honor.
Yeah.
It was
And you deserve it, because that was knowing that it wasn't going to be a huge group, I didn't feel as bad by not being there, because I'm like, I don't want her to feel uncomfortable. I knew there was enough of the right people there that you were absolutely just going to be welcomed open arms, and you have this access. You have access that there's people who pay Kyle $5,000 for an afternoon. You got them for 2 days. And they do this because it's kind of their commitment. And you heard the story about how Ron was helped by Kyle. Did he tell you that he told you that story? Yeah, that's usually part of it. And
yeah, he was almost in tears telling us his story that way. Yeah.
And he gets more tearful every time he tells
Yeah,
it,
he's
because
quite emotional. Yeah.
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 You got, I mean, I'm so honored that you said yes to go, and you got an experience that there's no other way you could have afforded that experience in any way or shape or form. It's just, it was, I believe you, I know what you experienced was indescribable.
It was. And actually, this friend of mine, when I was talking to her, because she had invited me to this thing on Saturday night, and I said, well, I'm going to be in Dallas for a Kyle Wilson Inner Circle. She goes, you mean the one that's connected to Jim Rohn? I said, yeah. She goes, oh, I love Jim Rohn. She goes, you are so lucky. And when I came back, she said, how was it? I said, it was just out of this world. It was truly amazing, and it was such a privilege for me to be there. So
I'm ecstatic. And and Steve Jobs says your reputation is what people say about you when you leave the room. They love you.
They love you too, because your name was in there. You were there with us in spirit. Trust me.
I love it. Thank you. What an honor. I'm looking forward to hearing more of your notes, because it's neat to hear them from a different perspective, because I know what they said, but it's different, right? Diane has a unique filter that is hers, and she heard things differently that I have yet to hear. And I'll be like, that was never in the presentation. So I look forward to it, Diane. Thank you.
Well, Eric was there, and that's what he said. He said, I've heard Kyle a couple of times, but yeah, there's new stuff that I learned today, So
well, Kyle's gone on a wellness journey for the last year. He's lost 60 pounds. He's back in himself. Him and his son are having dealt with the loss of their mom and his wife 5 months ago now. Still dealing with that. So, there's a lot of shifts and a lot of awarenesses and a lot of freedoms that come with change. And that's the thing.
Yeah, he did say he went through a transition, and he and Ron actually talked about, health and wellness and looking after yourself. And they both have lost weight, and they look great. And Dr. what's his name? I always say his name wrong. Gerhardt or Gerhardt? Gerhardt? He's got a big beard and glasses. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
They started playing pickleball together. So that was a big conversation, pickleball, because I'm just getting into it too. So it was a really interesting, yeah.
See, that's a conversation you get to have with Kyle. I'll probably never have a pickleball conversation with Kyle. Unless I put pickleball courts out here. Because if I go walk into any of the places I deal with and go, hey, do you play pickleball? What? So, yeah, I love it. Love it. So proud of you. So proud of you for taking the journey. And how were your flights?
It was all good. I got there on time, maybe 20 minutes late.
Well,
Coming
for
back,
you, that's
I
nothing.
got to Montreal, the first flight, our flight was just a little delayed, but I got there, but I had a 6 hour wait in Montreal to get home. So it was like 2:30 before I got home. And then my luggage, the first set of luggage came out and people got their luggage and left. And there's a group of us who were just like, okay, did our luggage make it with us? Or so after about 10, 15 minutes, it came back on and our luggage came out. But it was like, okay, I was sitting there going, okay, universe, what's going on? So it was like 4 o'clock when I got to bed because
Wow.
waiting for the luggage and then getting home. And yeah, it was a long flight back, but it certainly wasn't 42 hours, Sean.
No,
So
that was Diane's first trip home. 42 hours to get home. She could have walked home from the ranch. 42 hours.
so it gave me time to sit and reflect. And I was just so tired.
Yeah, your brain. I mean, it's not like you went and dug ditches in Dallas. Your brain was just totally wired.
Oh, that night, the Saturday night, I said, okay, my brain hurts and my back was starting to hurt. So I said, okay, I'm going to go to bed and just sleep. And I could not sleep. I was awake all night. And at 2 o'clock, I got out of bed. I did some yoga. I had a hot shower and went back to bed. And then maybe after an hour, I slept for maybe an hour and a half before I got up and went to the gym. And then I got dressed to leave. So, yeah, but I was dozing on the plane and I never sleep on the plane. So it was yeah, my body just felt drained. It was
Well, your brain consumes 20%.
mhm.
And so the next time you go, bring more of your or double up on your nutritionals, especially your brain stuff, because you
And
are
you know
going to
what? I had packed most of it and I was supposed to grab something that morning and I didn't.
and that
And
was
I
the stuff you probably needed the most of.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Well, and so you get to tell that story, Diane. You get
Mm.
to tell the story in wellness. Listen, I'm healthier than most of my peers, and definitely healthier than some people half my age. I went on a trip to Dallas, and I knew it was going to be all brain stuff. And the one thing I needed, old story, needed me to have a bad experience or a memorable experience of not so positive, and I forgot the one thing I really wanted. How many of us forget to grab the thing we really want? I'm here to help you remember that.
Wow.
You get to
Yeah.
tell that story.
And Milani, is that how you say her name?
Mahalani. Oh, I love her.
Milani, she was there and we had quite a conversation and we talked about the morning call. She goes, oh, I know. I know. Sean's invited me. Maybe I'll come on and listen. I said, it's on YouTube. You can listen to it after. She goes, well, I'm gonna have to do that, So we are gonna get together and there's some things that she would like me to collaborate with her. So
Good.
it was very
She's
nice.
the
So she
one.
said,
She's the
big
one that
hugs.
when I told I'm using methylene blue, she
Mhm.
said, I've been using that 2 years for my brain. I'm like, well, thanks for letting me know.
Yeah. She said, she had Lyme disease and she said, I can't. She's tried many, many, many things. And she said, I'm not up to 100%.
We'll get her
And
there.
yeah, so she said the glyconutrients. I looked at that before and she said, but okay. She said, maybe we need to talk. So we'll see.
Well, so
Doing a clinic and she wants me to be part of her clinic.
say, listen, you've thought about it before, but you haven't done it. We have a
Mhm.
6-month empty bottle guarantee. Promise me you'll do it for 6 months, and I'll give you my services to help you through the process. But you got to start now. No more talking about it.
Okay. Well, when I go to manifest in April, the end of April, she's gonna cook me dinner.
Awesome. I would make sure that she's on the product before then. Say, listen, get on the product before then. We don't need to wait. Do you want to wait to feel better till April? Is that what you're telling me?
Okay.
I need you to step up, Diane, because she's hurting.
Oh, she is. And we're gonna have a call this week. It's just she's
Yeah, I know
she
exactly.
her
I know.
energy is just like all over the place.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's yeah. Okay.
So
So yeah,
yeah,
wonderful, wonderful people.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Awesome
Thank you
job.
for the opportunity.
Oh, thank you. Well, everyone's offered it. Thanks for accepting it. And now you know why I invite. There's nothing on the planet like it. And I've been to a lot of planets. It's just I know without beyond a shadow of a doubt that anybody I refer into that world, they're going to be overwhelmed with love, because that's what it is. We've been doing this for 8 years now.
Wow, yes.
We know a lot about each other.
Mhm.
And so, Kyle, the morning that Ron was talking, I sent Kyle a message. I go, thanks for taking care of Diane, and tell the Colonel thank you. And I had sent the Colonel everything. And he said, she's amazing. And let's catch up. This is awesome. Thanks for inviting her. That's Kyle. And he knows. And we have a relationship. And he knows good people. So congratulations. You're now no longer on his radar. You are in the cockpit. You are in the seats.
Well, that's what he said. I hope you come back. And I said, I will. But he's such a genuine, humble person. Like he just, and he kept saying, before he gave us the network marketing information, and he said, I'm not a presenter. And I don't like to do presentations. They're like, yes.
And yet, that was a dang good presentation.
Oh, yes. I told him that after. I said, there were a lot of nuggets. And I said, you may not like presenting, but I learned a lot. So thank you. And he says, okay. His quiet little ways is okay.
Yeah, he is not a front of the room guy. He would rather sit in the back and support and help build. He's a marketer. He's not a voice. He's not a face person. And he realizes that he's got to be the voice for now. So
Well,
I would offer you when you have a chance to share his stuff, speak to what it is, because that will get you more than you know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm only one of a handful of people who got to share the program, because he knows the people that would show up are worthy.
Mm-hmm. And some of the people that were there, they said, thank goodness for Kyle. Like he's the one that gave them the step up, and you can tell that they're so truly grateful.
Yep. No, it's powerful. I'm so glad. I'm so excited. And I can't wait to, Kyle and I haven't spoke. We've texted a lot, but we haven't spoke, but I can't wait to have the conversation about him telling me how amazing you are and how incredible it is, the community I have and all of the things that, hey, listen, Kyle, the only reason I started the morning call is because of you. You pissed me off 6 years ago.
Well, that's what he said. It's amazing. He still has that morning call. I said, well, I said to Kyle, I said, you've been on it, you've seen, and you were on for 2.5 hours. So he goes, yeah, it's just amazing that what Sean has there and the group that he has. And I said, yes, it's unique. So
I'm figuring it'll get really popular after about 10 years. So I'm just going for the 10-year mark.
So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Love it. Love it. Love it. Who else? Thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways?
Good morning, Sean.
Good morning, Selka. How are you feeling today?
I am amazing.
I love it.
And you?
Outstanding.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I'm very excited for Diane that she got to experience that. She's really glowing this morning, I've noticed. So I just wanted to share that. But what I wanted to ask you, and maybe I misunderstood when you were speaking earlier. So I just wanted to clarify. I heard you say, if you pay more, you shouldn't expect more. Is that what you said? Or when you were talking about the
Yes, yeah.
website,
So sometimes,
different things? And so I was a little confused by that, and like, yeah, a lot confused by that.
so you have the opportunity to help people go on amazing trips at a reduced price, even better trips than they could typically buy. They could go on these special trips that cost less, but they experience more.
Yes, so they pay less.
Right. So, but they got more. So most people pay more, expecting more.
Right.
Price doesn't guarantee that the experience is going to be there.
But when you pay more, you expect more.
Yeah, but that's where most people are wrong.
Well, when you're buying a first class airplane ticket, you expect to get more than when you're sitting in economy.
So is
Right?
it real? Is it not necessarily? More maybe the bigger thing is I'm buying a bigger seat. I'm not buying first class. I'm buying a bigger seat.
Well, I'm buying the experience.
Okay, but I get it. I get a better experience in coach a lot of times.
No.
Oh yeah,
I don't. But
I do. You know why?
Because
'Cause
you have
I'm
more
first-
people to talk to.
Because I'm first class wherever I sit.
I see. But that's not for that. I don't
Bonus.
think that way. Yes, that
I
may
know.
be a bonus, but it's not if you are in an airplane for say
That's
15
ego.
hours.
That's
And
ego.
you
Why
think
not
you-
buy your own plane? Why not really pay more and get a really amazing? Why not buy your own plane?
Because you have to hire a captain to fly it. And
Oh, so you really don't want the experience.
no, I don't want that kind of, well, it
You don't want to
depends.
pay
I know
for it.
people that have a plane, and I've gone on their planes before, but they don't have like maybe the kind of plane that Eric Worre has. They just
Right.
have a small plane.
Mhm.
I would like to have the kind of plane that Eric Worre has,
Right.
but never mind. But that wasn't that. I
No,
don't.
but the
even know
point
how
is that
we
if
got
you
to
pay more doesn't give you the reason to expect more. Most
Yeah,
people
it
expect
does.
more. No, it
Yeah.
doesn't. No, it doesn't.
But for me,
Yeah,
if I
but
pay more,
you're not
the-
right. That's
but the
why
more
you
I
have
pay, I figure the better service I should get.
Have you ever had a bad experience in first class? Ever?
Yeah,
Somebody didn't.
yeah, once, but
So
that
it's
was
not guaranteed.
well, that was Copa Airlines, so maybe that just had to do with that particular airline.
But paying more doesn't guarantee you a better experience. You know how I know this? Because people pay the most precious thing they have, their time, and they die poor, they die broke, they die mad, they die upset. So paying more doesn't guarantee you the experience.
Well, I think we were talking about money. Yes, your time is the most valuable asset that you have. I totally get that. But the way I see it, and I'm not convinced. I think
Okay, I'm not here to convince you. I'm just here to show you a better way. And you choose it or don't choose it. It works
most
for me.
people, when they pay more, they expect more.
Well, and that's where they have a problem. Is in the expectation. That's all it is nobody gets mad. The only reason people get mad is their expectation wasn't met. Whether it be a relationship, whether it be the Christmas gifts you bought your kids and they didn't say thank you, whether it be the car you bought, the maintenance that you get done on your car, the way you the network marketing company that doesn't recognize you recognizes you, or the first class ticket you buy. Price doesn't guarantee you the experience. You guarantee you the reason.
Well, that is very true. But when you pay more, you expect more.
No. Well, yes, you expect more, and many people are disappointed. But what are you expecting? You think that you have to pay more to expect more? So which comes first, the expectation or the paying more?
The paying more.
Then the expectation will never be met. You have to have the experience.
Well, no, I guess you expect more. You want more. You want more, so you pay more to get what you want.
So, how much do you pay for a sunset?
Well, I live in San Diego, so
Interesting answer, not the answer to my question. How much do you pay for
okay. A lot of money for the rent. Let's say
where's the
4,000 a month.
where's the person taking the tickets to go watch your sunset every day?
The person.
Do you pay for the sunset every day? Do you have to go in order for you to see the sunset, do you have to buy a ticket?
No.
No. And are they beautiful sunsets? Some more beautiful than others.
But if you don't live here, then you would have to buy the ticket to come here, like a lot of tourists come here to see the sunset.
Sure. And so they have an expectation. How many people go and, well, San Diego's not a good example. Mount McKinley, people go to Alaska to see Mount McKinley, but the clouds are usually covering it. I think it's only visible 50% of the time, or 60% of the time it's covered in clouds. They still buy the ticket hoping to have it, right? What happens to their expectations when they don't get what they want?
They're disappointed.
You went to see Mount McKinley. You saw the bottom of it. You didn't see the top of it.
And that's happened when I went to Zugspitze. I still haven't seen the top of it. It was all in fog.
So do you still have a story?
Well, that I didn't go up is the story.
But you have a story, right?
Yes.
How many people haven't even been to Ixpatza or whatever it's called?
It's called Zugspitze. It's the highest mountain in Germany. Yeah.
So is there people in Germany who haven't even gone to see it?
Yeah, I'm saying there's many people, because most Germans like to go somewhere where it's warm. So
you have a story that even most Germans, let alone the population of the world, you're in the top 1% or 1/10 of 1% or 1/10 of 1/10 of 1% of people who've seen the tallest German mountain.
But I didn't see it. It was in fog.
You did see it. Did you see any of the mountain?
No.
None. The entire mountain was all the way down to the ground was covered in fog.
Yeah, it was all foggy. It was raining. It was pouring rain. It wasn't the summer.
So how do you know that it was even there?
Well, it said Zugspitze.
Okay. So maybe it's
it a
sign. So maybe the sign, did they move? That was a sign on wheels. Oh, here's the mountain. Mountain look that way. I can't see nothing. Mountain there. That's so good. We see the mountain later, right?
We see. You're speaking with an accent.
I promise you, mountain over there. You'll be good. Aktun, let's go. So you took somebody's word that the mountain was there because there was a sign.
Yeah.
You have a story. I spent all this money to go see a sign. I could have looked at it on the internet. There's this phenomenon that if I pay more, I should get more. So paying more, listen carefully. The reason a Mercedes costs more than a Yugo is because of craftsmanship and quality. You're not paying more. You're not paying more for a Mercedes. You're paying for craftsmanship and quality. You're not paying more for a first-class seat. You're paying for a wider seat, possibly better food. You're paying for more of what they offer.
For the seat to lie down. So
okay, so you're paying for a bed.
In the airplane, I love to lay down and I love to rest.
So you're paying for that. You're not paying more. You're paying for a seat that lays down. How much is a seat that lays down? This one's $500. Do those lay down? No. So they're not valuable to you. You're not paying more. You're buying the thing that they tell you, here's how much this costs. You're not paying more. Now, if you don't understand how to purchase and when the timing of purchase is, you could pay twice for a first-class ticket for the person sitting next to you.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
But you're not paying more because you bought it on the spur of the moment. There is a price for delay. That's not paying more. That's the price for delay. That's how much it cost. They're not going, oh, Silka Carpenter wants to buy a ticket. What's the Silka price? Nobody's going, what's the Silka price?
I can't even follow you at this point. It's always that the
I know that's the perception you have.
It's always more expensive than the.
It's not more expensive. It's not.
It costs more money. Should I say that?
It don't, you're only exchanging more money for a bed that lays down. You want to lay down. You are paying for what you want, not more than you want. You know, there's some first class lounges that have they have a shower in their own little suite, right? That's $44,000. Would you want to go buy one of those this afternoon?
But I want to buy what? I'm sorry.
So some first class suites have their own little shower.
Oh, yes, I would. Yeah.
Well, but do you have 44,000? Would you go buy that this afternoon?
If I was a billionaire, I would.
It's not my question. You keep changing the rules. Would you go buy that this afternoon? No, it's too expensive. So you don't want to pay for the experience. Nothing is
buy it?
What's that?
Would you buy it?
I couldn't buy it today. Michelle would kill me. I have to get 6 approvals and signatures for a weed eater.
See, I don't have that issue. I make all my own decisions, and there's only me. So, but anyway, so yes.
So allow yourself to experience the possibility that paying more doesn't give you a better experience. It gives you things you can experience. You're not paying more to get more. You're paying more so you can experience. It's not better quality. Let me ask you, is the seat on the plane as comfortable as your bed?
The business class seat?
Whatever seat that lays down, do you get as good a sleep on a plane as you do at home?
Yeah.
You do.
I sleep anywhere. Yes, I
But
can.
So if you could sleep, so if we could take your bed out and bring you a first class lounge chair, you would be okay with that?
As long as it reclines, sure.
But that's going to be the bed you're going to sleep in from now until forever, is your first class lounge seat.
That'd be fine.
Okay. So sleep isn't important to you.
No, I think it's overrated.
Okay. Well, that's an issue. You may want to check in on that and ask.
I think you snooze, you lose. That's always in my head. So
yeah, but so I would ask you, so if somebody were to ask you, so how are you doing now? Are you where you want to be with all of the non-snoozing that you've done? Just asking. We have all of these sayings where we use to defend our current state. Sometimes, if we really investigate those, sleep is one of the most important things if you get good quality. I understand. Listen, I sleep 4 hours a day, but it's damn good quality. I can meditate, go into a 20 minute of deep meditation and get the equivalent in my body of 8 hours sleep. But most people won't do that. They won't spend the time to learn how to do that. So I'm not saying that you need to sleep 8 hours a day. What I am saying is that it might help you to increase the recovery of your body because you are going all the time. You have a powerfully active brain. You need to allow that to shut down.
Falling asleep. I lay down and I'm out.
Well, that's called exhaustion.
No.
Yes. If you lay down and you're out and there's no.
Always, because my brain I don't have a brain that keeps going. It stops when I lay down.
That's exhaustion.
And it goes to sleep. But I don't need more than 6 hours of sleep because I found that
6 hours, you're wasting 2 hours a day.
Yes. Well, that's a good point. But so if I have found if I sleep more, I wake up with a headache.
Well, that's a story. I bet if you slept more tomorrow, you'd wake up with a headache and go, see, this is what always happens to me. That's how we control our body.
But it's true. I mean,
well, it's not true. You're making it so.
I'm making how am I doing that?
Because you're saying if I sleep more than 6 hours, I usually get a headache, and you'll wake up and you'll go. And your brain.
When I wake up, I wake up with a headache. Yes.
And your brain will go, okay, so we're more than 6 hours because your body knows exactly how long you're sleeping. So now we got to make her have a headache. And you wake up and go, see, I always do this. Of course you do. You speak it into the universe. It's called law of attraction. Look how powerful you are.
Well, I'm just telling you about it. Usually I just keep it to myself.
Sure, but even more interesting is that you have this own little world that if I got to get up in 6 hours, because if I go 6.5, 7 hours, I get a headache. Ah, I must have slept long. You look over at the clock, 7 hours. Of course, I got a headache. Ah, this always happens. You speak it into the universe. How how crazy do we think that that's not the truth?
So how am I going to not do that then?
Say I sleep 8 hours and I wake up more refreshed and I get more done in a day because my body is fully and completely rested.
But if I was going to sleep that much, I couldn't attend your amazing
Listen, you may
morning.
take a nap during the day, but my point is that well, you can go to bed earlier. Oh no, I can't. Okay, whatever you say. You're
I
right.
teach at night, you know that.
Okay. Listen, it's all good. My point is that speak into the universe what you want, not what you don't want. Say, hey, listen, I'd like to be able to sleep 5.5 hours and feel even more refreshed. Tell your body that. Say, hey, listen, today let's try something. I want to wake up in 5.5 hours, fully even more recovered, better sleep, better deep, and with more energy for my day.
That's a great idea.
Tell your body to do it and watch what. Now, the first day you're going to wind up I couldn't sleep at all. It's because you were changing your identity that you sleep 6 hours. And whenever we change our identity, the old story resists. It does.
Yeah, it does. I know. I've noticed that because now I'm more aware, and then it feels more comfortable to
stay in the old story. We'd rather the pain of our comfort zone than the freedom of our abundance.
Because I find myself going back to it when I shouldn't, when I know.
Wow, sounds like I don't even need to convince you.
No. Because I have the awareness now, but still I do it. I
even with the awareness, you still do it. And that's everybody. Even with the awareness, we still why am I so stupid? Why would I do that? Because you haven't convinced your identity you're about to shift. This is why we have to write it down. So I would encourage you, and we'll talk about this probably tomorrow on the Advancing Man. Imagine if you said your one sentence of your DMP 100 times a night for the next 7 days. We have to do this. Here we are, 2 hours. Most people don't realize we've been doing this for 2 hours. It's supposed to be a 45-minute call. Anytime I say it's going to be 45 minutes, it goes 2 hours. I give up. The universe goes, I got words for you, Sean, and it does something amazing. And anyways, my point is that if you could say your statement 100 times for the next 7 days, you wouldn't recognize your life before you go to sleep and let your mind work on that. 100 times? Well, it's only a sentence. Does it take you 30 seconds to say it?
I'm not arguing with
you. No. I'm just speaking out loud. When the subconscious says 100 times, oh my God, 100 times for 7 days. You haven't done it once, and you're already complaining about 7 days.
But my brain doesn't even think that, because I say the same exact things to my students. If they have trouble pronouncing a word, I tell them, go sit in front of the mirror and say it 100 times. And so I know
you listen.
Totally relate to what you're saying. So no, my brain is not even going there.
No, I was talking about editorial. I was talking about editorial.
I do the same thing. I tell people, my students, the same thing. So sometimes they look at me like, and then I'll ask them next time, so did you do it? And then
wow, so you know how I feel.
Then they mispronounce the same exact thing again, and I tell them the same thing again. So I understand it because I live it. I see it.
Sometimes us as teachers, we don't always make good students.
No, but I also wouldn't. I would never say 100 times, because yes, that's exactly. I mean, it's so funny.
Yeah. So just again, these are things that the only thing that's the slow part of our shift, of our transformation, is our brain accepting it. It's got the old pattern. We have to rewire it, and we do it through repetition, and doing it in a certain way, making sure we're emotionally charged as we say it each time. Because I can promise you, you say just one word 100 times over, about word by the 75th time you're doing it. Is that even how you say it? Right? I know that's me. I'll say a word when I was learning Spanish. I don't know, maybe it was aeropuerto. How does it even? I don't even know if it sounds right. So, love it.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Last thoughts, comments, questions, takeaways? Y'all are nuts.
You for today. Thank you for this was a true mastermind today. Thank you.
Pretty cool, isn't it? Love it. And it's a lot easier to hear the lesson when you're not the one getting lessoned. Love you, AJ. All right, everybody, go have some fun today. I'm your head brain training. Let's me go put some. What am I putting down to the pasture today? Some. I guess I'm doing oats and wheat today. Oats and wheat in the pasture, guy. I'll see y'all where?
The next event.
At the next event. Somebody give me some Costa Ricas.
Pura vida.
Pura vida. We love you, Mark. And some Lydias.
Peace be with us.
Peace be with us all. And the Queen.